Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Yay.
Good afternoon, early morning, depending on where you're at. Welcome to Dori Lou Sports Bar. Today it is my sports bar, and we are featuring StatBoy. Thanks for joining us, StatBoy. It's happy hour. Yeah, just a few slight changes happening today. Yes, we are on a bit early because of everyone's availability. So if you're joining us live, we greatly thank you for your time and attention. And with that, we've got sports to cover.
Let's do it.
All right. We're going to start with a little bit of highlights from the PGA. We're not going to cover top 10s because there really haven't been any much changes. But we did just have the Wells Fargo Championship in this happened this past weekend. And for our men, Mr. Wyndham Clark took first place. It's his first PGA Tour win, and it happened at the Wells Fargo Championship this past week, May 4th through the 7th. And he actually beat out Xander Schauffele, who is actually leading one of the top 10 in the men's golf world. Wyndham Clark, by the way, is actually ranked as the 80th out of 2 golfers. We have the Ryder Cup coming up for the men, September 29th through October 1st, and that is going to be in Rome. It's the biggest event of the year. So a lot of our world golfers are still working on making their eligibility for that. It looks like. Excuse me. Continuing, we also have Stephen Ames. He got his second win at the Mitsubishi Electric Classic in Duluth this past weekend. And sadly, John January, who was the winner of the 67 PGA, passed away this past Sunday at 90. For our ladies, and I'm going to mess up this name, Hanwha Plus International Crown Match Play also occurred this past week. And Thailand was the big winners there. What they do with their match play is you get 4 teams that are comprised of 8 countries. They split them into 2 pools. They do match play, so teams of 4, handicaps and such. From there, you get the top 2 teams from each pool to the semifinals, going to 2 singles and an alternate shot match. U.S. women beat out Sweden for the consolation third prize. So we've got Thailand, and you know what? Thailand and Sweden. I'm sorry, Thailand. And apparently I didn't write it down. My bad. I apologize. But your first third teams for the countries were Thailand, the U.S., and Sweden. I guess I need to cross-reference some of my notes better. My apologies. And for the men, let me jump back to the men real quick with their top 5 finishers. Number 5 was Adam Scott from Australia. Number 4 was Tyrrell Hatton from England. 3, 2, and 1 were all from the good old US of A. Harris English, Xander Schauffele, and Wyndham Clark. The only top 10 in there was Xander Schauffele. He's actually ranked number 5 of the top 200, with Tyrrell Hatton is ranked number 17. Wyndham Clark, per this particular update, is actually ranked now number 31, with Adam Scott number 37, and Harris English is actually number 36. All right, that's what I've got currently for the golfing world. We're up next for golf, watching for the Ryder Cup, which occur until September. So we'll see what highlights we have between now and then.
Also, Tiger Woods is in the storyline again, because apparently he's got more legal troubles. Oh, that'd be fun to follow.
Oh, yeah. I saw something about I saw something there about him breaking up with someone using via his lawyer. He didn't even do it. I mean, come on. I've been broken up with what do you call it? Messenger. I've been broken up via text. That has happened to me.
Ditto.
Okay. But to do it through a lawyer? Dude, you're a golfer. You're supposed to have some balls, at least the tiny ones that you put on, play with on the field or on the courses.
Wow.
But come on.
And this is why she's my best friend, ladies and gentlemen. She will say whatever she wants. Wow.
All right. I'm not quite sure why why out here, so we'll be playing with things to try and keep that from happening. So let's see. Yeah, well,
I love it. I love it.
To break up with somebody, I mean, it was bad enough in via a text, okay? That was somewhat personal still.
What wasn't the old school way? Wasn't that a Dear John letter? Or is that something different?
Yeah, well, Dear John letter, yeah, that kind of works. Dear John letters were usually sad for one reason or another.
Renegade, you're my brother, okay? Renegade's all upset because.
Okay, I'm his best female friend.
You.
How's that?
I love you. But see,
All
Renegade.
right.
Okay, hold on. Let me dig myself.
Yeah,
out
you
of this
better address.
Yeah. Dori Lou's doing it now. Renegade did it first.
Okay, and like I said, I'm the best female friend.
Thank you.
There we go.
Okay.
Just a real brief update from the world of tennis. The Madrid Open just happened, and your winner of the Madrid Open was Alcaraz from Spain, and he defeated, of course, came in second place, Jean-Leonard Struff of Germany. Our women, Iga Swiatek is from Poland, is still going strong. She won, followed by Arena Saba from Belarus. So just some brief blurbs here because we're not having a whole lot going on with these now. Just want to give you some quick updates and highlights.
Fair enough.
I don't have much on for y'all right now for soccer. When I decided to start covering soccer, I realized how big it really is. So I'm focusing right now on FIFA because that's what I'm a little bit more familiar with. If you want further coverage, let me know what particular leagues you'd like covered, and I'll do my best to get that in for you. So the Women's World Cup begins on July 20th, runs through August 3rd. They start with their groups first, and the first match is going to be the USA, or it's not the first match, but the USA versus Vietnam is part of that on July 21st. Then they'll go down to a round of 16, your quarterfinals, your third place, and your finals are expected to be on August 20th. Your round of 16 begins on 8/4, running your various states through your finals on August 20th. So we'll be keeping that updated. And the Men's World Cup is set to begin on November 20th.
Score! That announcer is
oh yeah,
one of the best announcers ever. He does his job. I don't know his name right now, but that is his thing. And for a goal is scored. They even parodied him, I think, in a soda commercial. Renegade says FIFA is probably the most important. Granted, he doesn't know much about soccer, aka football, but that's the league I hear most about. Yes,
yes. So we will cover FIFA, like I stated. If you want to hear some about what any of the others, let me ones you'd like to have covered, and I will add that into our repertoire here. I like that word, repertoire. All right. Shall we hit some NBA?
Yeah, let's talk about what's going on in the world of basketball. Playoffs are on.
Okay, go ahead.
And let me bring up the current playoffs right now. We have the Heat and the Knicks. The Heat are up 3-1. In game one, the Heat beat the Knicks 108-101. The Knicks came back in game two to tie the series 111-105. The Heat won game 105-86. And then the Heat won 4 109-101. Game 5 is tomorrow at 7:30 on TNT. The Heat are the number 8 seeded team, so that could be an upset, and that can send them to the Eastern Conference Finals. Boston and Philadelphia are tied 2-2. The 76ers won the first game, 115. The Celtics came back in game 2, and that was pretty much a blow, 21-87. Celtics then won game 3, 114-102. And the 76ers won game 4 to tie the series in overtime, 116-115. 5 in that series is tonight. All games are on TNT. In the West, the Nuggets and the Phoenix Suns are tied 2-2. Game 1 went to the Nuggets, 125-107. Then the Nuggets won again, 97-87. Games 3 and 4, Phoenix decided we're not going to come lying down. They won game 3, 1-114, and then won game 4, 129-124. Game 5 is tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern. And, of course, the Battle of California. The Lakers are up 3-1 over the Warriors. Not looking good for Steph Curry here. Lakers game 1, 117-112. Warriors came back and won game 2, 127-100. Lakers won game 3, 127-97, and then won game 4, 104-101. Game 5 is tomorrow. Remember, just because a team is down 3-1 does not mean they're out. It has happened many times in basketball, of course, in hockey, in case you know, you know. The team down 3-1 can come back and win it all. So, Golden State, get shit together and get this done, okay?
Yes, come on, Golden State.
However, there's a bit of positive news that Dori sent me. Mabunas might be coming to the Lakers. If that is a possibility, I might root for them again because of one player, and I'll jump back on my original team.
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons why we call you a bandwagoner, Mikey, but we love you anyways.
Well, it's not really bandwagon when the Lakers were my original team. Yes, I switched to another team, the Bulls, in the late 90s, but then I came back. I come home eventually. I'm not going to root for the Grizzlies, that's for certain.
Excuse you?
Not really a basketball guy.
Okay, well, I'll give you that. But although the Timberwolves are my primary team, I did adopt the Grizzlies secondary since we're close to Memphis. Okay, it's like a 6-hour drive, but
oh yeah,
we're in Tennessee. We're going to root for Tennessee teams to a degree.
I'll give you the Titans.
Okay. Before I give you a little bit of information from the college world of basketball, I have a nice little highlight here. Okay. We want to do a quick memoriam from Cleveland Cavaliers. Sadly, Nick Gilbert, who is the son of the owner Dan Gilbert, passed away this past Saturday, May 6th, due to genetic condition he had. Called neurofibromatosis 1. And what this is, it's a disease that puts non-cancerous tumors, or you have non-cancerous tumors that grow on your nerve pathways throughout your body. and he did ultimately pass away from it. He was a part of the Cavaliers, as in besides his dad being the owner, he was usually the one who in the Cavaliers in the draft. Everybody knew and loved Nick. He was a light and inspiration to so many throughout 6 years, and that was an Instagram post from the Cavs. His dad has a Children's Tumor Foundation, or they're part of a Children's Tumor Foundation, and the Cavaliers joined the foundation to start a bow tie campaign to help raise awareness, and they did end up dedicating this past season to Nick. Nick was usually seen wearing a bow tie. It didn't matter. He wore a bow tie when he was in. So hearts out to the Gilbert family, the Cavaliers fans, and everyone who knew and was acquainted with Nick. Our hearts to you, and
bow ties are cool.
Yes, we know you like your bow ties.
Yes.
And
I like them a little bit better than neckties. Bow ties are.
We wish for everybody grieves in their own time and their own way, and we just wish everyone the best in regards to Nick's passing, and glad that he was able to bring such light to so many despite his condition, and wish that more people would be able to do that, would let that light shine through. All right, moving on to the WNBA.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, it's the LSU. I just had it, and I turned pages and page. Give me 1 second.
You said WNBA? What do I have on WNBA?
Okay, there it is. Found it.
Hey, there you go. She got it.
So first, just a little highlight from college hoops. The LSU Lady Tigers, Angel Reese, who some may have seen in the news a little bit because of an alter during a game at one point. But apparently she's doing pretty good. She's been selected to take part in the 2023 USA Basketball America Team Trials, along with SEC Freshman of the Year from LSU, Flaujae Johnson. They are competing to become a part of the women's team, a women's American team, to compete in the International Basketball Federation World Cup, July 1st through 9th in Leon, Mexico. So, Angela Reese, Flaujae Johnson, we wish you the best. Go Lady Tigers.
There you go.
Now, our WNBA actually just started this past weekend. Our first games were on Friday, May 5th, with your Chicago Sky taking on the Dallas Wings. And the Wings won that one, 75-70. We've got the Washington Mystic taking on the Minnesota Lynx. Go Minnesota Lynx. The Lynx won 72-69. Then we've got on the 7th, the Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky. The Sky won that one, 81-56. On Saturday, we had, do I have my dates wrong? I'm sorry. Monday. I don't know my days of the week. So let's just go the dates. On May 5th, the Phoenix Mercury took on the Seattle Storm, and the Mercury won that one 77-71. We are currently in preseason for the WNBA. We've got games today of the New York Liberty at the Connecticut Sun and the Atlanta Dream at the Washington Mystics, with lots of games coming up the rest of this week. We'll keep you updated on how the ladies are doing as we progress.
And when the season starts, we can actually do rankings like we normally do with all the other sports leagues too.
Yes. So we will have that, and we'll look at like your top players and all that fun stuff as we get going into the season. But right now with preseason, let's see what's happening.
There you go.
Okay.
Hearing you talk about the son of the Cavs owner makes me think of Chris Sutter, son of former Kings coach Daryl Sutter. I'm Sir Jet. Oh yeah, we love Chris in LA. Chris Sutter is what a proud and true hockey fan is. I mean, I don't know I believe it's Down syndrome. I'm not certain. I hope I'm wrong on that. But honestly, that doesn't matter. It does not matter what he suffers from. He still will show up at Kings games. He will come up and shake your hand. He will show respect, and he's the nicest fans ever. If not, I would almost want to call him the GOAT of King hockey fans.
Very
Jeff
cool.
didn't kill me on that one though, but
let's see. I'm seeing the pictures of him and a little bit of information.
There you go. Yeah.
He's all up in his gear and everything.
And if you haven't seen the video of him meeting Chris Jarrett and Charlotte Flair and Ric Flair passing out Kings jerseys, it's one of the greatest.
That was awesome. That was awesome. And I have to agree with what Jeff just put up there on the screen. He doesn't suffer. He is a survivor of whatever disease he has to deal with.
Okay, suffer was the wrong word. I apologize.
Yes, suffer is the many people with these life-altering, what we would consider to be normal, which depends on how you look at society. A lot of people, they take it in stride. They give it their best. They might be handling it or dealing with it, but they don't suffer. They're making the best of it. They make the best of it. You always have your victims and your survivors, and part of it is the mindset on which one you are, in my opinion. I'll just put that out there. So again, like Jeff said, he's not suffering. He is living his life and making the best of it, and he looks like he's a happy kid and just ecstatic to be part of the world.
There you go.
Oh, yes.
Let me backtrack. This might touch on basketball or even college basketball. There is a big story out of West Virginia. Bob Huggins, who is the longtime West Virginia men's basketball coach, said something that he shouldn't have said in an interview with Cincinnati radio. I don't even want to give out these quotes. This is a little bit. It is a bit on the adult side, so I'm going to try and clean it up as best I can. Apparently, they were having an LGBTQ night in West Virginia, and coach basically did not like those Catholic, what you call a cigarette in England word.
Okay.
So apparently he did not like what was going on. He said that. He later apologized for it. The situation is still under investigation by both West Virginia University and its athletic department, but still it's being referred as an anti-gay slur. Honestly, that stuff needs to stop altogether. I mean, there's no going back from that. I'm sorry. You use that terminology. No amount of apologizing, no amount of of losing your job, you have put a mark on yourself, it's just, and this is almost like a rant on me that I have to say from it. It's a disgusting term for a person who chooses to live their life their way. Okay. If you don't like it, too bad. I'm sorry. That is their life. They are proud of who they are. Exactly. Thank you, Jeff. So to have a person of authority, i.e. the coach of West Virginia University, use that term that's being broadcast probably nationally, you screwed up big time, sir. If you don't lose your job out of this, it's a miracle.
Yeah, well, it's not just happening in the basketball world, and it was a different slur regarding different group in the baseball. But we will get to that. And sadly, there are some, some people whose minds we just can't change, the way they were raised, the way they were taught to think. And Lord, forgive me for saying this one, some of your Bible thumpers who they see things very black and white. You have your very, very narrow-minded, tunnel vision people that don't want to accept things outside of what they accept to be proper. But proper is different everywhere you go. Normal is different everywhere you go. And that's one of those debates that we are not going to get into, to tell you the truth. You want to debate with me in person, come find me, we'll chat.
And you'll lose. My money's on her. I'll put all the money in my wallet right now. I'll put all this on her, and I'll double it.
All right, child. Right. Let's continue on, shall we? Let's actually go ahead and jump into baseball.
Baseball, the American national pastime. And I think we have the power rankings, so let me bring that up. Very good. And I will bring up my notes. And we'll start at the top with Tampa Bay. Those Rays are still going strong. They are 29-7. The Braves are the next team down. They have a record of 24-11. The Orioles are 22-13. The Rangers are 21-13. The Blue Jays are 21-14. Those Pirates are 21-15. And I think I did skip one. I apologize. The Pirates, the Dodgers, and the Red Sox are all tied at 21-15, but the Red Sox have the highest run score, 208, followed by the Dodgers at 194, and the Pirates at 165. Next, we have the Diamondbacks and the Brewers at 20-15. I guess I must have messed up somewhere. So I'm just, the Diamondbacks have 185 runs, and the Brewers are at 158. There are my Angels in the top 10 at 20-16, followed by the Twins would be next at 19-16. So they are neck and neck. The Yankees are at 19-17. The Padres are at 18-17. The Mets are at 17-18, tied with the Cubs and the Mariners and the Astros. They're all tied at 17-18. So the Cubs would be the highest ranked team at 169 runs. Moving on down the list, the Marlins are at 17-19. The Tigers are at 16-18. The Phillies and the Guardians are tied at 16-19.
Okay, not sure what happened. We lost both Mikey and Dori, so I'm on camera right now because I was not prepared to be on camera today. So just give me 1 second here. Let's go inside, Dodger. Go inside. Go inside. Go. Okay, apparently they lost internet. So let me lock back up here. Goodness gracious. It's one of those days, folks. As we do around here. Okay. Alright, we'll bring both Mikey and Dori back in. And off we go, guys. Have fun.
We lost.
We lost our internet briefly. We just had thunderstorms roll through too. Yeah. Sorry about that, folks.
But we're back.
That's what happens when you go live. You got to deal with this with punches. All right.
So again, there's the power rankings. Everything's looking A-okay. The Yankees are going to get Aaron Judge off of the IL today, which is a good thing because believe me, they need him. Because even though the Yankees are doing well, I believe they're in the division, which, the Yankees, it's about the pinstripes. So we got that.
Yeah, did you know the Yankees have won the most championships with 27? And they are currently last in the AL East.
27 rings.
27 rings. And at the moment, they are in last place for the American League East.
Give them time. It's only been a couple months. The season is still fresh. We're worrying about them in August.
But apparently this is the earliest in the season they've ever been in a double-digit deficit. So I thought that was interesting. A couple other quick Major League Baseball stories. The San Francisco Giants left-handed pitcher Alec Wood, he is going to the Sacramento River Cats for rehab after he had a hamstring strain back in April. Oh, this one was, I don't have an update on it, but Ryan Yarbrough, pitcher for the Kansas City Royals, hit in the head by a 106-mile-per-hour hit from the Oakland A's Ryan Noda when the bat connected.
Oh, my God.
It not on purpose. It would accidentally, whatever Ryan, when he swung, it ended up going straight back at, when Noda swung, it went straight back at Yarbrough. It did make him see stars. The team was out there around him. Medics came out around him. They were holding something to his head, and then helped him up and off the field. He did actually walk off the field with everybody around him. And at the time of the information I got they didn't have a diagnosis or how long he might possibly be out for.
I don't think you need a diagnosis on that. It's self-explanatory. You take a baseball going at 106 miles an hour at your head, you're going to have a concussion, if not worse. That is one of... Ooh.
Yeah, so I understand the concussion part. Been there, done that. So Ryan Yarbrough, we're praying for you a speedy recovery so you can get back in the game. Now,
I mean, let's look at this. We've got baseballs to the head, hockey pucks to the head. We got tackles that end up, knocking people out. Fists flying. Is basketball safe? I mean, no,
probably not.
Because you can hit the floor and shatter your back in 3 places.
Or hit that floor and go sliding and go head first into the support for the net. There you go. There's unfortunately in any sport there are always possibility of injuries. That is a risk you take with being an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Tampa Bay Rays. This was interesting. Pitcher Zach Eflin was wearing his wedding ring, and nobody's had an issue with it until recently against the Pittsburgh Pirates. The officials there told him, no one can hear you scream. Yeah, that's because everybody else is screaming, right? But he was forced to remove his wedding ring or get ejected from the game. And it has to do with something about, again, things from the past with doing illegal things to put a different spin on the ball, or making whatever they used to do with sandpaper and Vaseline and all those other things.
You're remembering watching The Naked Gun last night, so that was
that too. But so this is the first group of officials that had a problem with Elfin wearing his wedding ring, and he had to take it off or get ejected.
Yes, according to the MLB rules, pitchers are not allowed to wear jewelry on their hands during games for safety reasons. The only exception to this rule is a medical bracelet that cannot be removed. So I guess they think, like, the ring could somehow get, caught. It depends. It also depends on what hand you wear your wedding ring on. I think traditionally it's your left hand.
Traditionally, it is your left hand.
So if you have a glove, maybe your ring could get caught in your glove, or if you throw with your left hand, perhaps. And this is just me guessing. The ball could hit the ring and spin a different way, perhaps. So it's understandable. But again, the other side, he's married. Let him show off how proud he is to be married. So
there you go. There you go. All right. Former Dodger, who is now a Boston Red Sox, Mr. Justin Turner.
Bearded wonder.
He got struck out because of a pitch clock violation.
The pitch clock.
The pitch clock strikes again. Yep. And apparently this has something to do with whether or not he was actually standing inside the batter's box when the pitcher was ready. Or he wasn't standing in the batter's box to show in position to show that the pitcher that he was ready. Anyways, he got hit with a pitch clock violation, and he'd already had 2 strikes on him, so that counted as strike 3. So strikeout for Turner.
Not only was he confused, but the announcers didn't even know what's going on, because sometimes MLB don't have microphones, so they have to guess what's going on. This now, I believe, is the first instance that a strikeout has been taken because of the pitch clock. Okay,
from what I read,
yes. The pitcher does not even have to throw the ball to strike somebody out. So now the negative of the pitch clock has taken place. The pitcher's job is to pitch the ball. The pitcher's job is to try to get the runner out at first base. The pitcher's job is to field the ball when it gets to him. That's pretty much those 3. Now with the pitch clock, we have, I'm getting credited for a strikeout, and I didn't even have to throw the ball. There you go.
They have said that the pitch clock has shaved time off the games in general, but there's been several incidences where that if they would have just let the game play the way they've traditionally played, there have been arguments about pitch clock calls that have actually taken longer than if they would have actually just been playing.
Yep.
So it's a thing. Okay.
Hey, Jeff. Just ask Brock Lesnar about getting hit in the head from that fake sport professional wrestling. Dude got 14 staples after Sunday's match. Oh, from hitting the turnbuckle.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, go back to Edge and Balor.
He got the staples too.
He had to get staples too. Yep. In the head.
Good match, by the way. I'll quickly touch on it. It was a great match between Cody and Brock. I'll say great call again by the brothers that did the watch along with the Backlash pay-per-view. Good job. Shocking victory for Cody. I'll say that. I mean, I I literally thought Brock was gonna take this, just be the beast and all that. And if you haven't watched Raw yet, go watch it. No spoilers today.
Good job, because I haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
Behave yourself.
Okay.
I know the results, but I'd like to watch,
Okay.
All right. So moving on to, I just got a couple more here for you. The Boston Red Sox. And so Boston and Philly.
Big rivalry.
Well, these two guys are former teammates. They both previously played for Boston, and they're friends. And apparently this was done as a prank.
Uh-oh.
Cutter Crawford and Matt Stram.
Okay.
They, right after the national anthem, they had an intense standoff, basically an intense stare-off.
Okay.
And they were warned to get where they were supposed to be or whatever it was, and ignored it and continued their stare-off, and both got ejected from the game before the first pitch was even thrown.
Well, that backfired, didn't it?
And they both got fined.
Fined?
Fined. And I can't remember who. I want to say Crawford is actually on the injured list. So he's not the only one who got the fine. The whole team did.
Oh. And this is why we don't prank people. It just backfires.
All right, a little bit more news for the Yankees besides their poorly starting out this season. They have a rookie pitcher named Ian Hamilton. And he just recently on the 6th closed out against the Tampa Bay Rays, throwing a scoreless 9th inning for his first career save with a 3-2 win.
Well done.
So up and coming rookies. Let's see what happens.
The rookies.
2 words for Raw, spoiler free, equals Zoe Stark. All right. Got it. Okay. Now this last piece, that other piece of, he's not a coach. He's the Oakland A's announcer, Glenn. I'm not sure. I want to say Quipper. It's Kuiper.
Okay.
He's been suspended indefinitely for using the N-word during a broadcast on May 5th. Apparently,
now wait a sec. How do you pull that one?
Hold on. Let me finish. Let me start with the fact that this is his 20th season as the A's announcer. So he's been doing this for a lot of years, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, he was discussing a trip to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, but instead of saying Negro.
Oh, no.
He did, when he realized what he said, he did apologize for it coming out the way that it did, that he thinks that he didn't state Negro clearly. But it is being investigated, and he has been suspended until further notice.
Wow.
I got nothing to say. I got nothing to say on that.
Those words are neck and neck in the severity of evilness. Okay? The second one has been used for years. We know this. And I don't want to get into that debate because believe me, I'll cross into waters that I would never get into. It gets used in music a lot. It's used in the communities, and it exists. Just
sadly,
he wanted to say one word and he said something else. And the most common slip up is Booker T back in the 90s in WCW. He let it slip. And if you know the clip, As soon as he said it, you could almost see his soul escaping his body. That's how bad it was, you know. Is this announcer now going to be deemed a racist? Hopefully not, no. Did he make a mistake? Yes. Will he apologize for it? Yes, he already has. Is that going to fix everything? Probably not. Again, it's just like the anti-homosexual slur, you know. Again, he's now, you know, it's sad that an apology just can't fix everything. I don't believe that. I don't believe he's a racist person. You know, he was praising the Negro Leagues, which deserves praise because, you know, African Americans can play baseball just as much as any other race. You know, that is a common thing. Anybody can play baseball as long as they. Anybody can play baseball as long as they have the desire to do it. They practice. They enjoy the game. They want to swing a bat just to swing a bat. Anybody can play, regardless of race, color, creed, anything like that. It doesn't matter.
Forgot one.
You know, you could be anybody. I believe there's probably a baseball league for people in wheelchairs. If I see that, that would be the coolest thing ever to see a person in a wheelchair do that. Because I have said a person can do anything they put their mind to. Exactly. We have to be careful how we discuss things nowadays in any facet of society. I believe people in wheelchairs, when I see a person in a wheelchair doing something that I can't believe, I'm not going to say, ha ha, that's silly. I'm going to praise that person. I'm going to say, you know what? That's amazing that you can do that. I would love to know how you can do that. And they say, well, I just swing the bat and I just push the chair down the field.
Well, I mean, look, we do have, I mean, we have the Special Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
The Special Olympics are for disabled peoples, whatever their disabilities may be, for the various sports, several of which we talk about. My favorite actually, though, happens to be the swimming.
Yeah.
You have people who have limited limb use who compete in Special Olympic swimming. And it's just, I am so proud to be a former competitive swimmer, although it was in high school, you know, just to see that these folks are inspiring to see what they can accomplish, you know, what they put their minds to and can accomplish.
It is amazing when a person who cannot use their legs have the arm capability to still swim. It is amazing. They must be able to, they could probably bench press a Buick if they put their heads to it.
Probably.
That's how strong they are.
Well, Mikey, I'm going to take you back to Knott's Berry Farm. And do you remember Mario?
I believe so.
Yeah, look at what he does. I mean, he's got that upper body strength. He goes dancing. He has, with the help of his adopted family, he actually has met Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow is actually a fan of his, and has helped support his foundation to put a basically an anti-bullying bench in schools.
In fact, now that I remember, Renegade can back me up on this. We had a gentleman in college in our wrestling group, and this was when we were goofing around and all that. And he was in a wheelchair, and he's like, I want to wrestle you guys. And I was very, very worried that, you know, he could not use his legs, but he was as strong as an ox. And there actually were wrestling mats in the gym, and we used them, and we tried to grapple, and I was actually standing, and somehow he got around me, he took me down, and he pinned me with ease. And I severely underestimated this guy. I cannot remember there it is, Keith Bowman. Thank you, Renegade. Keith Bowman, his spirit was outstanding. You know, you would see him around campus. Everybody loved this guy. And I was in shock, and I'm like, you know what, Keith, if I could have handed him the title that we had back in the day, I said, you know what, you deserve this more than I do, because if I was arrogant now, I was way arrogant back then. I'm like, because there's no way. I did not think he could do it, and he took me down with ease.
All right. So again, I have admiration for all athletes on virtually every level, every skill ability, because, many, many, many people are out there for the love of the game. And we just encourage people to encourage that. No, I mean, if you've got a great love for it, go for it. Give it your best shot. You never know till you try.
There you go.
All
What's
right.
next?
The XFL will be having their Super Bowl this coming weekend at the Alamo Dome. We've got the Renegades at the Defenders. Yes, I actually said it right this time. StatBoy feels the Defenders are going to win by 10. I'm not going to put a prediction out there, but hey, here we go.
I know I did pick the Renegades by name at the beginning of the season. I don't know how they got into the game. I'm going by the statistics. The Defenders finished the season 9-1. The Renegades finished 4-6. The Renegades are a huge underdog in this game. If I could have had the Vegas odds for this, I would have put it up. But I'm going with the numbers, except with my heart. So I'm sorry to the Renegade, but I'm going with DC on this one.
All right, I'll go with the math is there, the numbers are there. It's going to be DC, so we'll see what happens. It could be a big surprise. You never know. It has happened. So for the DC Defenders, running back Abram Smith, who's played college at Baylor, he is all XFL for 791 yards, averaging 5 yards per carry over 10 games and 13 catches for 91 yards. He is Mr. All XFL for the 2023 season. You have 31 players from the XFL have been invited to various NFL minicamp tryouts.
There you go.
Ben DiNucci of the Sea Dragons is going to Denver. Jack Cohn is going to, also the Sea Dragons, is going to is actually going to 2 minicamps, both the Jets and the Seahawks. Ben DiNucci is a former 7th round draft pick from 2020 from Dallas.
That's right. So he's coming back home to the NFL.
Yep. So not all 32 teams have invited XFL players at this point. You've got Detroit, Pittsburgh, Miami, Cleveland, Denver, Carolina, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Seattle, Baltimore, New Orleans, the New York Jets, the Giants, Buffalo, and Tennessee have all invited at least one XFL player to their minicamp tryouts. So this could be the stepping stone for some or a rebound for some others. We'll see what happens, and we wish them all the best.
Indeed.
We have AJ McCarron, quarterback at University of Alabama. He played for the St. Louis Battlehawks. Why do I have this note? Oh, he's one of their top players. Oh, he is the MVP of the XFL.
Well done, sir. Good job.
But he did not get an invite to minicamp.
Blasphemy.
He's got a 68.8% completion rate, 24 touchdown passes, and 2,150 passing yards this season.
Impressive
but no
numbers.
invite. Your offensive player of the year is from Ole Miss, quarterback Jordan Ta'amu, and he's playing for the DC Defenders. He is third in passing yards, 1,894. Third in passing touchdowns, 14. He's only thrown 3 interceptions.
Only 3?
Only 3. That is the fewest number of interceptions for the season. He's the second in quarterbacks for rushing yards and third for quarterbacks in rushing touchdowns. Again, 3. I think he likes that number. He used to play for the Tampa Bay Bandits in the USFL 2020 before returning to the XFL. He played for the Battlehawks in 2020, right before the pandemic. Then went to the Tampa Bay Bandits in the USFL before coming back and playing for the DC Defenders. Last for XFL, we have your Special Teams Player of the Year, wide receiver Darius Shepard of St. Louis, and he is actually going to Detroit for minicamp.
There you go.
So there we go. That's what I've got for the XFL. Jumping over to USFL, I have your week 4 updates.
And there are the rankings. The Breakers are 4-0. The Stallions are 3-1. The Gamblers, Panthers, and Generals are all tied at 2-2. So we went by points. 115 for the Gamblers, 76 for the Panthers, and 75 for the Generals. The Showboats are 1-3, along with the Stars, and the Maulers are dead last at 59 points.
All right. So if you want to know what those actual scores were last week, you got the Houston Gamblers at the Philadelphia Stars. The Gamblers won that one, 41-16. The Memphis Showboats at the Michigan Panthers. This was Memphis's first win of the season, 29-10. New Orleans Breakers at the New Jersey Generals. The Breakers keeping that perfect record with 20-17. Birmingham Stallions at the Pittsburgh Maulers. The Stallions won that one 24-20. Your offensive player of the week was from the Gamblers, running back Mark Thompson, with 3. I'm rereading my notes. I'm sorry. 3 returned touchdowns, 134 yards over 13 carries. Your defensive player of the week was linebacker Vontae Diggs of the Breakers with 11 tackles and 1 sack. And your special team kick returner Deion Kane for the Stallions. Okay, he did 2. Last week, he did not get the Player of the Week award. But last week against New Orleans, he returned an 82-yard. It was an 82-yard kick return for a touchdown.
There you go.
This week against the Maulers, he had a 91-yard kick return for a touchdown.
The kid's got skills.
The kid's got skills. And that brings us up to the good old NFL and everything that's been going on since the draft.
So far, the only news I have is that the 2023 schedule will be released in 2 days.
It is out now.
Now?
It came out yesterday, late yesterday.
Shows how much I've been paying attention.
Well, you've been sick, so we'll give you a little bit of a pass. But before we get into all of that, so we don't have a whole lot of draft results or what's going on with the draft because they're just getting started. I can tell you that Green Bay signed cornerback William Hooper of Northwestern after his minicamp tryout. I can tell you that much. Okay. I will also tell you that the NFL is currently under investigation for racial and gender discrimination and sexual harassment. Great. And this goes back several years. It's lawsuits filed by former employees, congressional hearings last year during the against the Washington last year regarding the Washington Commanders and others from over 30 former female employees. So there is investigations going on with how several of these women have been treated or how they feel they've been treated. And yes, we'll have more updates as it becomes available. There is the International Player Pathway, and this was established in 2017 to provide elite athletes around the world with the opportunity to earn NFL spots and increase the number of international players in the league. And 8 players have been added to the rosters for this season, 6 of them from Nigeria, 1 from Australia, and 1 from France. They're going to Chicago, Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota, Denver, Kansas City, Las Vegas, and the Los Angeles Chargers. There you go. So we are trying to get those internationals in there. All right. We've got NASCAR, and then we've got hockey, and then we've got a weekly delight.
Great. We're wrapping it up.
So for NASCAR, because I did not get the graphic out, give me just a moment.
NASCAR. That was the...
So they were in Kansas. They were at the Kansas Speedway. Boy, my notes are a mess. Sorry, guys. All right, Kansas Speedway. And we had both the Craftsman Truck Series and the Cup Series ran this past weekend. No Xfinity. They will return this coming weekend. So for the Craftsman Truck Series, your top 10 finishers, starting with number 10, from the Hattori Racing, car number 16, Tyler Ankrum. For Tricon Garage, number 17, Taylor Gray. From McNally Hingelman Racing, the number 35 car of Jake Garcia. Number 51 car of Kyle Busch, which I'm presuming is Kyle Busch Racing, because I didn't actually get a team listed here for them. Couldn't find it in their listings. For REV Racing, the number 2 car, Nicholas Sanchez, took 6th. The number 41 car of Ross Chastain took 5th. Hallman Friesen Racing, number 52 car, Stuart Friesen. Your third place finisher from Front Row Motorsports was Zane Smith in the number 38 car. Second place was the number 11 car of Corey Haim for Tricon Garage. And your first place, your big winner for the Craftsman Truck Series at Kansas Speedway was the number 20 car, Grant Effinger for GMS Racing. All right, jumping over to Sunday's race, which is the Cup Series. Again, your top 10 finish. Starting with my driver, number 10, the number 3 car, Austin Dillon for Richard Childress Racing. Yeah, yes. I got a top 10 finish. Woo-hoo.
Good, no, it's about time.
All right, the first of 2 top 10 finishes for 23XI Racing was the number 45 of Tyler Reddick in 9th place. Joe Gibbs Racing is on here a few times also. They took an 8th place finish with Martin Truex Jr. in the number 19 car. Hendrick Motorsports, now they had the best weekend in the top 10 finish, starting with number 7th place for the number 9 car of Chase Elliott. And the driver I love to hate on took 6th place for Team Penske, the number 22 car of Joey Logano. Yeah. Ross Chastain pops up again for Trackhouse Racing. He ran both Craftsman Truck and Cup Series. He took 5th place in his number 1 car. Your second top 10 finish for 23XI Racing for Sunday was the number 23 car of Bubba Wallace in 4th place. And here we go. Number 3, the 24 car of William Byron for Hendrick Motorsports. Number 2 was the number 5 car of Kyle Larson, also Hendrick Motorsports. Your big winner for the Cup Series from Joe Gibbs Racing is the number 11 car of Denny Hamlin.
And of course, there had to be an altercation in the pits after the race between Ross and Noah Gragson.
Yes.
Apparently, with 60 laps to go, they got into each other after the race. They got in front of each other. Gragson was the first one to initiate the fight. Chastain got him with a right hook. Gragson went to punch back. The NASCAR official said, "This ain't happening." and that's all there is to it. I doubt if there's any. I haven't heard anything about fines or suspensions or anything like that. But of course, NASCAR's known for fights just as much as hockey is.
Now there's been, if you look at NASCAR.com, a lot of people are like, who had the better fight? Chastain and Gregson, or I can't remember who was another big one from the past, but it's basically there's been a lot of trying to compare the two.
Wasn't it Hamlin and Waltrip?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
They were in the booth at an early race together, and they actually touched on it. And those two names are popping out for some reason. I want to say it was Waltrip and Hamlin. I'm not certain though.
We'll see. We'll look into it. But the next race is going to be accidentally popped up in an article I don't want to read, but Joey Logano's been named one of the 75 greatest drivers. Okay. Opinions. And that's where I'm going to leave that at. This weekend coming up, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Darlington. And you do have all three series of racing this coming weekend. So we will have those updates for you next week. All right. Are we ready?
Or hockey.
It's hockey.
So here's what happened yesterday in the world of hockey. When you lose the regular season, you look toward next season. You do that by having a draft lottery. Here's how it works. They take the 16 teams that did not qualify for the playoffs, and they assign you a number that is chosen out of a ping pong ball machine, kind of like the California lottery or any state lottery. They take every possible combination of those numbers, and the lowest ranking team, which was the Ducks this season, they get the highest percentage of numbers to get the number one spot. Now they do this behind closed doors. ESPN makes a thing of it. You know, they only show the actual drawing after the fact. So they go in, they draw their numbers, they say this number is the winner, what team is it, and so forth. Then they draw a second number for the second pick. Then the remaining teams continue in the order of the standings. Now, the remaining teams, when you win the Stanley Cup, you pick last in the first round. Runner-up is the one before that. So the Wild, Avalanche, Jets, Kings, Rangers, Islands, Lightning, and Bruins, they will get picks 17 through 24. It all depends on where they ended up in the playoffs. So they only focused on the first 16 teams. Here are the results. And as you can see, the Ducks did not get lucky, and they did not get the number one pick. Mathematically, they had the best chance to do so, but it just didn't happen. Other than that, all the other teams, with the exception of Arizona at 12, they got their pick from the Ottawa Senators. Had they gotten into the top 5, the Senators would have retained their pick. So spots 16 through 3 fell the way they were supposed to mathematically. It came down to the draw. The Blackhawks get the number one pick over the Ducks. What's the prize? A young 17-year-old star player out of Canada named Connor Bedard. ESPN has been saying it's the Bedard Trophy. This kid is amazing. His stats are phenomenal. I haven't had a chance to get them all out. I can get them next week. They are comparing him to Connor McDavid. So throughout the last 2 months of the season, where is this kid going to go? Now, he will turn 18 in this summer, so he can be drafted. There are some rules and laws that will allow him to be drafted. So more than likely, Chicago is going to pick him up. This young, newly crowned 18-year-old rookie is going to be in the red and black of the Chicago Blackhawks. if you go on Twitter, now here's where I have a thing. The dreaded R word, rigged, came into play. Now, come on, guys. Really? Just because your team does not win or your team does not get lucky or just because you don't win a contest, to say it's rigged is one of the worst defenses ever. I would love to see how you can prove that this thing was rigged, okay? Yes, it is behind closed doors, but more than likely, the NHL will release the footage of the actual drawing taking place. That way, all that rigging conspiracy theory can be thrown out the window. Here's another small problem I had with the deputy commissioner who was giving the announcements. The logos, of course, were on these giant cards. And, you know, with the 16th pick, Calgary, 15th pick, so forth and so forth. He got to the number 3 and gave the spot to the
Hey, hold on.
What's that?
Renegade.
Oh, come on, Renegade.
I love you. I love Anne Murray's music. That's one where you and I might have a fight. But you know what? Hockey is fun. Wait, I grew up in North Dakota and Minnesota. Hockey, come on. I played field hockey in elementary school. Oh, yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, the CEO conspiracy. So for the effect, you know, he gives Columbus their spot, and then he grabs the number 1 spot, and there are watch parties. There's a watch party in Chicago. There's a watch party at Honda Center. You would have. I saw Wild Wing in the background. He goes, the number 1 spot goes to Chicago. He picks up the number 2 spot with the Ducks logo on it, and he had it upside down. So that was, now if that was a simple mistake, that's one thing. But you know, the hateful Anaheim Ducks fans, he did it on purpose.
All right, JJ.
So
all right.
The Ducks do have a backup plan. There is another player. I believe his name is Adam. It starts with an F. I didn't get his name. I apologize. But he's an up-and-comer as well. So we'll see what happens when the NHL draft takes place in, I believe, late June, early July. So there's how hockey's going with that. Also, in the let's bring up the current bracketing. Seattle is currently leading over Dallas 2-1. The Knights are over the Oilers 2-1. The Panthers are on the brink of a sweep. They're going to take out a Canadian team now. They already took out the President's Cup. To take out a team from Canada, where hockey is the national pastime, that's going to be an accomplishment in itself. Carolina and New Jersey, they play, I believe, tonight. They are 2-1. The Devils are Dori's fantasy hockey team. Kind of boosted her out of the bottom, and now she's in the top 4.
Let's see if let's see if me and the Devils can do better.
I have the Kraken as my team. Renegade has the Stars. So we have a kind of a little battle going on right now between him and me, but it's top 4 get in. So there's that. The Knights and the Oilers, that's a good matchup as well. But all eyes are on Florida right now. Finish the story, finish the sweep.
Yep. All right.
There's tonight's
games.
Hurricanes and Devils at 7 o'clock on Sportsnet, ESPN, and TVA Sports. And of course, Dallas follows up against the Kraken at 9:30.
Now, for your draft lottery, the first round is happening on June 28th, with rounds 2 through 7 happening on June 29th. Out here in beautiful Tennessee at Smashville, Nashville.
Cool. Road trip.
We might have to take a few days off.
You can wear your Wild jersey. I'll take my Ducks gear, and
hey, it's all good. It's all good.
And we'll find a Kings fan out there too, or someone or another.
I would not be surprised. All right, folks. With that, we're going to bring up our weekly delight. And there we go. Thank you. And we've covered a lot today, and at the same time, not as much as we have in the past. But just because the things that are going on, I just want to leave everybody with this positive. I hope there are days when your coffee tastes like magic, or your tea, or your Coke. Your playlist makes you dance. Strangers make you smile, which is one of the things I'm good at.
Yes.
And the night sky touches your soul. This is from Brooke Hampton, and I very much approve this positivity.
Dori Lou approved.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, and
I will jump in for the sake of the plug, so I can get them through in a quick and orderly fashion. We can get you guys off the air and back into your resting phases, because Lord knows we all need some sleep. All right, let's see here. All right, where the hell is this? There it is. So tonight's show, of course, and let's get JJ's logo off there, because this is across the multiverse, not just JJ. Love you, JJ, but no. Anyway, talk wrestling tonight, 10:05 Eastern, one way or the other. I don't care if I got to drag my ass back out of the coma. I will do this damn show tonight, so help me, Jesus.
Amen.
Let's see. You can find, Throwback Thursday, of course, with Renegade. Bringing in classic content from NerdyQ.com, the Casa, the Jeff Meacham Network, Simple Man Brand, and the Jay Hebert Studios. We all thank all those studios for contributing to the Throwback Thursday #shenanigans. JJ, of course, is in the middle of his month of showcasing the Duke himself, John Wayne. Yesterday's movie was The Searchers. That's now available on demand on the Casa. Tomorrow's movie will be Comancheros, we'll go with that. And one of my favorites on Friday, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, featuring Jimmy Stewart, which is an underrated, for my money, classic from John Wayne. Good stuff.
Yes,
and
it is.
His new release this Saturday will be Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, based on the Judy Blume book, Loved by Millions. It even says so in the tagline, so it must be true. I remember when I was younger than I am now, we'll put it that way. And of course, The War Zone with JJ every Saturday is Weekly Acquisition Reports. I don't know if they've gone away from the 50-cent Dollar Tree buys, because they apparently up those back up to $1.25. So whatever JJ's got, I'm sure it'll be entertaining, which I can't be entertaining. Thank you, sis. Appreciate that, because I'm just that damn tired. You can catch our bar keeps here in the sports bar, freaking hell. So
how many of you had?
Heroes and Legends 19 is this Saturday, May 13th in Sevierville, Tennessee. You can check everything at heroesandlegendswrestling.com. You saw the trailer during our opening credits, if you will. So many of our friends are going to be there. So many legends from the world of wrestling, including the King of the Mountain match. And no relation to TNA's King of the Mountain match, because that would be gimmick infringement and we'd have lawsuits. So we can't do that. And let's see, what else do we got here? Oh, yeah, of course. Follow your barkeeps over on the social media. That is Twitter, Hathaway Lou and LB Stack at 1977. And, of course, each and every... Oh, wait. JJ with the comment. Let me go ahead and throw the Warzone plug back up. There we go. I still have 2 more weeks of Dollar Tree movies that are 50 cents each. There you go, JJ. Appreciate that. Good to know. All right, let me get back. And, of course, all these plugs, despite how fast they went, were, of course, StatBoy approved.
StatBoy approved.
Indeed.
All right. Thank you for your time in this manner.
We are really excited for Heroes and Legends. We've been plugging this for the better part of 3 to 4 months. We cannot wait to see all our friends and take new pictures and put up a new opening with updated pictures and everything like that. Lots of footage to, and we're not going to let the weather stop us, because this weekend, we had a storm last night. There's another storm coming in. That's the beauty of Tennessee, folks. It could be 80 degrees in one part of the day, and next thing you know, the clouds come in with thunder and lightning at 2:00 in the morning. You just love it. You can't pass this up. So to everybody in the Pigeon Forge, Sevierville, Gatlinburg area, come check this out. Come see some heroes and come see some legends. It's worth it. We had a great time last time, and we're going to do it again this time. And then next time, too.
And you get a photo op there's a possibility for photo ops to meet and greet some of Wildfell wolves and an owl.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait.
I'll be right there for that owl especially. So starts at noon on Saturday. We look forward to seeing you there. StatBoy, send us home.
Next week, we are back in the sports bar at our regular time. We'll both be here. Everything will be back to normal. As always, with shenanigans and a lot more fun. Thank you for coming in early. Thank you for watching. I love you all. StatBoy out.